Welcome to episode 97 of the Brew Crew Scoop. The Brewers had a little bit of an underwhelming week against a couple of not so great NL West opponents, but they did still go 3-3 despite the quote unquote bad week, and they still sit second in MLB with a 67-41 record. And they still sit at the top of the NL Central with the 6-game lead over the Cubs. So all is still good, but a little bit of a disappointing week when they could have capitalized, but it's seemingly that always how it works out. The Brewers end up beating the good teams and then playing down to the level of the bad teams. It's just baseball. Anybody can beat anybody. So, but a fun alumni game. And trade deadline talk. A lot of buzz. I know we've talked Skubal on this podcast before, and I think for the last couple of months, it maybe was kind of a like fun conversation, but doesn't make sense and probably won't happen. Just in this last week, it sounds like maybe it does it makes sense more than it did because of the injuries. But in this last week, it sounds like maybe it is possible. So, well, I'll let you talk about the week, but we probably start with that. I'm sure that's what people want to hear about.
Yeah, I think the weeks, like you kind of described it, we could have performed better. We didn't, we went 500, whatever. Um, yeah, definitely deadline is top of mind right now. And I'm sure we'll get into that more later, but it's kind of hard to even predict the deadline before it happens because generally the Brewers just pick up someone you didn't really know was anywhere near our radar and they perform okay. That might be what happens again.
Yeah. I think we should talk about school right away. It's, I think, so the Brewers, I guess, have been linked to Mason Miller too. He's got control left. Um, So I'd imagine the price is probably going to be end up more than we want to pay, or if we do pay, it might be a little scary because sounds like they want a lot, which fair enough. Paying a lot for a reliever is scary. Obviously, Mason Miller maybe is the outlier there, but even still, they're still a little volatile. So we don't need to talk too much about Mason Miller. If that happens, awesome. I'm sure we'll have a breaking news podcast to break it down. But if we want to talk Skubal, a little more realistic because of the price. Obviously, it's a rental, but he's proven he's healthy. Was just talking about on Twitter, like the farm just seemingly has a new guy pop up every week. That's popping up on a prospect radars. Every new top 100 list has different brewers at the end of it. Andrew Fisher is in the 30s for homers. Blake Burke is too. I know Andrew Fisher, there's the swing and miss concern. So, like you said, Cole's that a guy we try to capitalize, sell high now. We also could go the major league route. Like I saw a mock for the Dodgers was Zaire Hope and Emmett Sheehan. So if they are looking for, um, I mean, we wouldn't want to give up Mate, probably not even Pena, but if they're looking for a major league level ready arm, you could throw in Drowan, you could
Keep
throw in
hearing
Haskell,
Henderson
Henderson. Yeah, so there's lots of ways for them. You could even look at an outfielder. It'd be tough to trade Garrett Mitchell right now, but
or
he
Lara.
Mitchell hasn't proved to be healthy up until this year, so maybe
I
now is
would definitely
okay.
deal if
That's
it'd be
yeah.
more than just Mitchell though, right?
Oh, for sure. But I'm just saying
So
if they want to base around a major league ready pitcher or a major league ready outfielder, they can do that. And then on top of that, they do have so much prospect depth that like there's lots of different ways to go, and you feel good about taking the swing, I feel like.
my
This year.
thing with Skubal is like in the past we've seen it, we've already seen it this year. Like he clearly is trying to save himself to a point for this free agency period. And I think in the past he's left games. I mean, I don't know if it was really his call, but earlier than you think, even in playoff runs, obviously we saw the WBC stuff. Like if we give up a bunch for him and think he is the difference, is he really going to be willing to be the difference when we call upon him if it's a short rest scenario? Because he is one of the best pitchers in the league, and we say, hey, it's the playoff series. We need you, you know, shorter rest, two big games, blah, blah, blah. Do we really expect that he'd be willing to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I can't, I guess I obviously can't speak to it,
I mean,
but
his track record
yeah, I don't know if it's
doesn't say
different.
it would.
If you have a legitimate shot at a World Series, would he do that for a couple weeks? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I know for the American guys, it seems like the WBC just doesn't mean as much as it does
I
to those
just don't feel
guys. So
like he
maybe,
would, but maybe.
yeah.
And
But I
he's
mean,
coming off the elbow, like,
correct.
I don't know.
But Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different ways. I guess my point is there's a lot of different ways to go about this trade and still feel really good about the farm. Like you don't want to trade Made or Pena, but um, yeah, I don't think I'll be super disappointed if it doesn't happen. Now, if he goes to the Dodgers, I'll be a little frustrated just because of obviously then you got to face him in a playoff series to get to the World Series likely. And because I fully believe in the whole Dodgers get their prospects pumped up in these rankings, like the big market teams. Like for example, I don't know if you said like River Ryan. I just found out he's like 27 and he's still like a top 100 prospect and he's 27 years old and has been pretty bad in the major leagues, I believe. So, and has barely been in the major league. So I don't know. Some of it doesn't make sense to me. Feels like the Brewers pay a small market premium in these mock trades. I know we've talked about that before.
Yes and no. I think they also pay a premium because they're so good. Like they have
Sure.
so much talent there that the people, at least in mock trades, are like, well, you guys have so much, therefore you should slash
Yeah.
can pay more. So I don't know if it's necessarily it has to do with small market, but definitely a premium.
Yeah, I feel like if we could get it done with like a see, it's funny. I don't know if you mentioned this or if it was something I saw on Twitter, but like you could argue Logan Henderson could get a similar haul to Terry Skubal if he was made available on the market right now, just because it's 2 months of Skubal and it's what 6 years of Henderson. Like, so it's interesting to think about packaging Henderson plus something. I don't know. Maybe Henderson's not getting a top prospect, but
Yeah,
if
Henderson's a
Tigers get
weird
him,
case because,
yeah.
like, I mean, he's performed so well, but
Hmm.
like, do you believe that's the continued performance? But yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't have
It's
to explain that. He's been pretty nuts
But
so far.
if you could build a trade around either Henderson or Mitchell plus a Fisher and some other throw-in prospect, like I feel like you gotta take that swing. I don't know. I know Fisher is like to your point. I I think he could be a sell high guy. I don't know. He was a college
Yeah,
guy, so
it's
not
either
as
going to
much
be a
of a mystery
guy that
box.
you're going to feel like an idiot that you hold him,
Hmm.
or you're going to be like, damn, he somehow kept the swing and miss, the K rate, but kept hitting bombs, and he's a
No.
stud. But I don't know, it's just weird. Like I don't know. I mean,
Um,
that's the tough part, right? Is it's not
yeah,
only do you want that player, it's then because our farm's deep, it's not just a simple question of like, do we trade our only couple of prospects for a good guy because we want to be good? It's which guys do you then
yeah.
trade, which you got to have faith. We have the most info on these guys, and the front office would make that right move. But it's also obviously there's um, two parties in any deal, so I don't know what teams are more interested in either. Like I was thinking, like a Pratt or a Lara, are they worth less than some other guys, or are they worth more because they're already locked up and have already shown some? So like it's just weird.
I would assume they're worth more, especially for a Tigers team that's like not fully rebuilding necessarily. Like they still have
Yeah.
some good young talent now. So yeah, I don't know. I was just revisiting the Machado trade last night because I thought it was a Hira hang up, but now I remember it was a Burns hang up, which obviously Brewers are happy they kept Burns. But to that point, the Brewers kept Burns. Looking at the return that the Orioles got for Machado in 2018, Dean Kramer, which fine, like he's been okay, but not. I mean, he's got a 6 B WAR. Zach Pop, Rylan Bandon, Yusniel Diaz, and Brevich Valera. I don't even know who that is, but so like all that, like the Dodgers were, sorry, the Orioles were like possibly getting Corbin Burns, who turned into like a perennial Cy Young candidate when healthy, and instead they got
Yeah.
Dean Kramer. So like these prospects are mystery boxes, and yeah, it's so tough because like. Yeah, I don't know. Fisher feels like you feel like you know what he's going to be in the majors. Not entirely, but you
What's
have
he
an
gonna
idea.
be? Let's hear it. Let's get it on
Yeah,
record here,
I
Scoob.
should
Do
say
you know
you have an idea of what the floor and ceiling looks like, I feel like, where
what's the
it's not.
ceiling? Kyle Schwarber?
Yeah, no. I think the ceiling is probably
Mark
like
Reynolds?
yeah, maybe like a one time potentially a one-time all-star maybe. I don't think it's a guy that you're going to be like, "Damn, we traded away Jordan Alvarez." Like
Yeah.
obviously.
It's just hard because like the run he's been on this year is insane.
Maybe
What's he
like
have 33 homers in the minors this year? Isn't
maybe
that
like
it?
ceilings to like a Corey Hart, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
It's
yeah,
just tough.
it doesn't matter what we say anyways. The Brewers
Exactly. We all
Tigers
we gotta do
will
is get mad about the decision no matter what.
hmm So, but if they do get Skubal, and they do pay a big price, it'll kind of suck. But also, if we get Mizraowski, Skubal in the playoffs, we're gonna be pretty hyped up for that at the moment. So, could be cool. All right. Well, we could talk about the week at hand. Obviously, the trade deadline will have passed by the next time we talk. So we'll see what they do. We can talk more about the deadline a little bit, but for the Brewers for the week, Rockies alumni game. It was a 5-2 loss. Kind of an ugly one. Brewers made Tomoyuki Sugano look like a Cy Young, and he's really not very good, even though he does have 10 wins. Um, Shane Drone took the loss. Um, Offensively for the Brewers, Christian Yelich had a home run in the first inning to lead off the game, so that was good to see. He had a couple more that looked like typically at those launch angles and exit views would be homers, but they were not. So not sure what that was about, but he put some barrels on baseballs, which he has not been doing a lot of lately. And then Terang homered in the sixth, but those were the only two runs they got on the mound for the Brewers. Drone ended up going 6 innings and 5 earned. I think Anderson let some of those in. So, but Drone's got a 3.51 ERA this year. Um, Not the best start, but has still been a great addition to the Brewers rotation.
Yep.
On Saturday, it was an 8-5 win. Lara and Pratt were all over this one. Um, Cooper Pratt had his first career home run. He drove in three. He was 3 for 3 with three ribbies. Luis Lara was 2 for 2 with
What
three
wait,
ribbies.
he had his first career home run at the game I was at last week, like
Oh,
Tuesday.
second career home run.
That's a pretty
Both,
big mess up, man.
both
That's
were that
twice
is a
the
big
career
mess
amount
up.
he's had. That's a
I
big
was
deal.
off. I was
No, I'm
off
just
last
kidding.
week. No, you're right. But first two career home runs in the homestand. So,
Yep.
but yeah, Luis Lara went combined 5 for 5 with 6 runs batted in. On top of that, Lara had a sac fly and a walk on top of that 2 for 2. Cooper Pratt also had a sac fly. So, those two 21-year-olds that are locked up long term are all over that scorebook. For the Brewers on the mound, Robert Gasser went 6 innings, 2 earned. Um, Trevor McGill had to come in and close that one out after Lance McCullers looked awful and was subsequently DFA'd. Kind of surprised, but I mean, whatever. He probably wasn't in the long-term picture for the Brewers anyways, but kind of thought he could be a sneaky bounce back guy for the Brewers. He's always had the stuff, but a little bit interesting. Seems like they just wanted that prospect, really. I wonder if he had pitched well if they would have kept him. I don't know. So, Sunday, Brewers won 11-2 to take the series. Jacob Mizorowski, young pitcher. I don't know if you've heard of him. I
Yeah, we should trade him for Skubal.
think it was a spot start. 5 innings, 12 Ks, 83 pitches and 12 strikeouts, no walks, one hit,
Didn't
one
he have
earned.
like 11 through 4?
Yeah, it was like the first seven and then 11 through four. It looked like he was gonna have like 15 for a minute there again. That brought his season ERA to a 158. Chad Patrick. Just looking at the bullpen here, it's like the ERAs all look so good, but recently some of these guys have struggled. Patrick's 3.45 ERA. Ashby pitched in that game, 3.30 ERA. This was before the Giants series,
Mm-hmm.
but Anderson, the 3.50, Yoho, 3.32. Bryce Wilson doesn't really count, but a lot of good numbers, but it seems like they've been a little more up and down than the ERAs are showing. Um, and we'll talk about that now. The Giants, it was a 3-0 win for the Giants over the Brewers in San Fran on Monday. I actually went to bed after it was 3-0. It was late and it just that game felt dead. I did hear the Brewers get stuck on a runway or something, so potentially it's something to do with that. But Arias had an RBI single in the third. McCray hit a 2-run homer in the fourth, but that was it. Yelich, another 0 for 4. Um, Only 3 hits for the Brewers in that game. Brandon Sproat, just another Brandon Sprout start. Flashes of greatness and flashes of really bad. 6 innings, 5 Ks, 3 walks, 3 earned, 6 hits. Um, I think William Contreras saved like a lot of wild pitches. There was like a 2 inning stretch there where he could not hit the glove to save his life. It was really ugly. So
He's been putting up some real Dave Bush type numbers.
yeah. 8-2 on Tuesday for the Brewers. Logan Henderson, 5 2/3, 7 Ks, 2 walks, no earned, 2 hits. Terang, Churio, and Lara all had multiple RBIs. Pratt had one of his own. Again, Lara and Pratt just getting it done. Pratt too, but Luis Lara is just continuing what he was doing in AAA. It looks awesome. Really good to see. And then yesterday afternoon, Brewers got trounced 16-3. They waved the white flag at the end with Andrew Vaughn there pitching. Thomas Pannone came up to make a spot start. It was 3 runs early for the Giants. Brewers chipped away in the third and fourth with a couple of RBI groundouts. But then in the sixth, Giants pulled away with the 7 run inning. And then it was a little too far to catch up. Chad pitched in that one. Ashby, 4 more earned runs. Um, Bryce Wilson, 3 more earned runs. Andrew Vaughn, 3 earned runs. Um, yeah, I don't know. The bullpen on paper is really good, but McGill has been bad at times this year. Ashby's been bad recently. Chad had a little stretch there in the middle that's been bad. I don't think Bryce Wilson is going to get playoff innings anyways, but like um, Grant Anderson has been a little bit shakier than the past. Yoho looks better recently, it feels like. So, hopefully at least 3 or 4 of those guys are on come October, but haven't seen a ton of consistency. So, would be interesting to see if we added the back into that bullpen with Uribe, McGill, who knows, Yoho, Patrick. But yeah, so 3-3 week for the Brewers. They sit at 67-41, still right on that pace for a 100-win season. Cubs just won, so now it's a 5.5 game lead in the NL Central. And then for that first round bye, still a 4 game lead over the Braves, 1 game behind the Dodgers for the 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on it. Not honestly, I feel like we're lucky to be 3-3 after the week, but um, gotta shout out the young guys getting it done. I also I don't know, saw a graphic hyping up Joey Ortiz's defense at third. We know he's been hitting at third,
Hmm.
so um, that's pretty cool. Makes the deadline a little more interesting if we actually think he's that much more comfortable at third. I'm not gonna read all the way into him being that much better of a hitter and stuff at third, but something's different.
Brewers head to Anaheim starting tomorrow, Friday. And then back home for 4 games against the Pirates, 3 against the Twins. We'll see who are the new Brewers at that point. All right, who was your hot hitter of the week against the Rockies and Giants?
Oh, stop dropping on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire. He's so hot right now.
Cooper Pratt, he had a 1.188 OPS. You hit on the his home run. He had a double, 4 runs, 6 RBIs, 2 steals, um, 7 total hits, and then Luis Lara also deserved a shout. 2 walks, 4 doubles, triple, 5 runs, 8 RBIs, and a steal. Um, I don't know if you're gonna hit on anyone else, but I know Jake Bauer is back in the lineup and right
Yeah.
back to where he left off. So love to see that out of Jake Bowers. A little worry for half a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like broken toe. I'm like, shoot, that's gonna be like at least a month, it feels like. And then he's like,
He's like, it's
actually, just
always broken.
just one day. Yeah, I knew it was broken. I was like that.
Like, okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, Luis Lara's turning into a favorite of mine. He looks awesome. Fits right into that mold of like not super tall, twitchy, quick, stealing bags, extra base hits, not like a crazy amount of power, but just chaos in the bases. A Brewer.
Yep.
All right, who was your untouchable pitcher of the week?
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
I'm gonna give that one to Logan Henderson. You went through his outing, but 5 and 2/3 scoreless, win, 7 Ks, .71 whip. And like we said, I forgot exactly what the stat was, but it's like him and I forgot. I didn't write the stat down. I'll go find it. But it's something about he's like one of two pitchers for their first X amount of starts to do
Oh
his
yeah.
numbers. I'll find it. But you got anyone else to shout out? You said Yoho. That was the other name I had written down just because I don't know, like to see him actually succeeding.
How about how about the Miz?
Yeah, I sadly just don't say him because he's so good. Oh, here's that fact.
Oh, yeah, go
Just
ahead.
Baseball's Twitter or X page. The only pitchers in MLB history to allow 20 or fewer runs and strike out 80 or more batters through 14 career starts. Paul Skeens and Logan Henderson.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Who are you taking out of those two, though, if you had to pick one?
Right now,
Yeah,
Henderson
right
easy.
now.
Skeens' velo is down.
Yeah, wash.
Um, Miz threw 66 fastballs and all were over 100 miles an hour at
Yeah,
the start. That's just
he's
insane.
decent. He's
Yeah,
decent.
insane. Um, all right. Let's talk about the news and transactions. McCullers was DFA, like I said. Stallings was recalled. That was a corresponding move. Bowers avoided the IL. Sal Frelick had a cortisone shot. Currently, they're estimating a early to mid-August return for Sal. Um, Kyle Harrison was scheduled to throw 75 to 80 pitches for the T-Rats today. Early August return expected. So good to get Kyle Harrison back for sure. Yeah, I don't know if there was like a ton else of movement, honestly, as far as the roster.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean I went through some of it in the last one and it's all pretty minimal. There's still
Mhm.
obviously some guys, like you said, injured. I don't know if I've heard any updates on Sal. I don't even know if I know exactly what the timeline is.
Yeah, it looks like McCovey said early to mid-August. So yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's we'll see. I mean, technically early August is what like in a day or two,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. All right. Around the farm.
If it hadn't been for those meddling kids. If it hadn't been for you meddling kids. Ah, meddling kids. If it hadn't been for these meddling laddies.
Looks like Biloxi's just got all the bats right now. Blake Burke set the Biloxi franchise record, I believe, for home runs in a season. Fisher had like 4 straight games with one and has 33 minor league home runs this year. Matt Wood and Mike Bovee are also hitting in Biloxi. So um, those are the ones I saw. I think like Hullub also is pitching well down on the farm, but main ones I highlighted was Biloxi just because all the dudes that are getting it done right now seem to be in Double A, which has been a um, endless cycle of guys that seem to perform in Biloxi. I don't know if it's Javik or what it is, but
Yeah,
last couple of years, that's been the place to watch games. I guess the T-Rats last year had that stacked lineup of um, everybody, but
yeah. I don't know if you talked about the draft at all last week,
a
but
little bit, but not really.
Sawyer Stroh I saw someone did like a best value pick and signing. So slot was 1.3 for that pick. Brewers signed him for 2.1 million, which is technically over slot. But I saw that it was like the best value in terms of the difference of where the whatever the scout had ranked value. His value was like a 6 million. So basically, I mean, he fell down the board. So good for them to make that work out. And on the flip side of that, failed to sign Aiden Knack, the Clemson um right-handed pitcher. I guess he was Clemson's ace last year and didn't watch a lot of college baseball. But yeah, interesting. Interesting to go back to college after being a fifth round pick, like because you lose just so much leverage as a senior, like which is also a kind of a BS thing, but you could just offer a guy 50K, and he was probably due 500K. So I don't know, whatever. That's his choice. But like do random I guess not random. Do ACC aces get giant NIL packages? I kind of thought that like it's more a college football or college basketball thing. I don't know. So can't imagine that he was going to make more in NIL, but maybe.
Yeah, it is definitely odd. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I wish I had the facts there for you, but we'll see. I think the draft still end up being all right. We've been hitting lately
Yeah.
too. We're due probably for a couple little bites in the ass like that, but overall, I mean, can't really complain. And who frickin' knows until these guys are in the org a little bit and start progressing. But there were some guys to like. Like I said, I hit on a little bit last time, so we'll see.
I was just looking at the MLB Network, some tweets talking about trade ideas. I know it doesn't actually make any sense, but it would be so cool to see Yordan Alvarez in a Brewers uniform. That dude is just such an absolute beast at the plate. It's crazy. Um, okay, so do you want to give up Jesus Mate and Luis Lara together in a Terry Skubal trade? Because that's what former GM, I don't even want to say his name. Was it Jim Bowden, I think? That's what he said
I
that
do
he would like
not
to
want
give
to do
up.
that.
Let's talk about non-Skubal Miller.
Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, so we could talk Freddie, or we could talk about like is Joe. I feel like they're gonna roll with Joey here now, at third, which is fine. But also, I mean, it seems really silly, honestly. But like, they should have just kept him playing third base to see if that actually was the reason. Because now he's been plugged into shortstop a couple times in this last week. Um, like I don't know. Like is that possible? I mean, obviously it's possible that for whatever reason he gets psyched out when he's at shortstop, but it's so odd.
Happened to me too in my
Like
career. I don't blame
yeah,
you.
it's so odd. And it's not like he's a bad shortstop either. So it's not he's like, "Oh shit, I'm making a bunch of errors at short. Now I'm in my head today." It's like he plays good D. So it makes me think it is a total fluke, but it's been so like cut and dry the difference between the two. So I don't know if
Did you
Joey
know that
Ortiz.
Andrew Monasterio has a 780 OPS this year?
Yeah, and Caleb Durbin's been red hot, and Anthony Siegler had a big home run recently. In comp pick B, I wonder who the Red Sox picked with that pick. Let's look.
Yeah, I agree that Joey Sitch is just weird. I definitely, it doesn't seem like we're gonna take a big swing probably there anymore, right? So yeah, it might be what it is. I don't know if there's maybe some other, I don't know. I don't even know who that utility piece would be
Well,
anymore. I think it's more arms, but
the
no,
offense,
isn't Glaber on an expiring deal with the Tigers?
I don't know, but I've
He'd
always
be an
liked Glaber.
interesting player to add, except I think he hasn't played third for a long time, right? It's just been second.
Yeah, he's a free agent after this year. Yeah, it looks like he hasn't played third really since 2021. Couple of games in 2022.
Yeah, and
So
obviously we're good at second, but
yeah. But, we also put Mike Moustakas at second base.
that's
So
true.
we could probably put Glaber at third. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like Glaber. He's not far removed from it was actually last year. He was an
Yeah,
all-star.
that he got that. Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. We want to I mean, the offense is actually in a pretty decent spot. The problem is the
I just
main
don't
issue with
trust it though. We don't hit home
well,
runs,
right.
man.
I agree. The main issue with the offense right now is that Yelich has been pretty much non-existent, and even like Churio hasn't been homering recently. He's been a little bit cooler. It's like if I'm not really worried about Churio in the playoffs, anyways, though he seems like a playoff riser. But if you feel good about the supporting cast, I guess like Pratt, Lara, Mitchell, and then even like I don't know how you whatever supporting cast. Maybe I shouldn't use that terminology, but like still feel good about Bowers, Vaughn, um, Terang, Contreras. Like it's just those two guys right now at the top that I would wish would could get back to their normal selves a little bit. I think like we talked about, Yelch's back probably bugs him more than we ever hear about. And again, I'm not worried about Cheerios, but overall, I mean, I feel like our offense is in a good spot. I wonder if anyone will get called up um this year. Like it's probably getting too late for Pena or
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean Made, but I wonder if there's anyone else in AAA that we'll see before the year's over.
I
Uh,
think if Jet Williams would get going, he'd be a
yeah,
guy
like
that might
that's.
actually be ready to be moved up. But
I'm actually shocked that we haven't seen him yet.
yeah, I don't know. I just like you just went through all those guys, and the issue is they've all performed well enough that you're not
Hmm.
gonna acquire something to play over them. But like, I don't know. When I look at that lineup next to the Braves or the Dodgers, I'm just not gonna say
Hmm.
our lineup's like better.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I think there's a lot of um arms out there available. I went through some teams that might be selling and guys that could be available, but I just don't know if it fits. Like there's a handful of outfielders, but like I don't think we'd add an outfielder just given some of our
Yeah.
depth in the outfield. But like, and I know he's been bad, but you'd have to get money. But like Springer is probably available. Dalton Varsho, I've already seen. Ward on the Orioles would be awesome, but I don't think we're gonna do that. Lane Thomas has been better on the Royals, and he's a righty, so it'd be good for
Hmm.
like lefty splits. But I don't know. Then a bunch of arms. I don't know if there's anyone specifically um, that you're interested in. I feel like of more achievable guys, Trevor Rogers will probably be dealt. I think Jack Flaherty's not been very good, but he'll be dealt and a lot cheaper. I know we've talked about Mize before. Robbie Ray, I believe, is a free agent after this year. I know the pen. Kirby Yates is on the Angels, and he's actually has an okay, um, some okay stats, which is not all that common on the Angels pitching staff bullpen. I don't know though. None of those names obviously grab you, but that's generally how our trade deadline goes. So
Yeah, I mean, like Casey Mize has had a couple good seasons in a row now. I know. Yeah, Flaherty's I think been better recently, but he kind of feels past his prime. I know I've said a couple times that a Aroldis Chapman would be cool.
yeah, but the
Uh,
Red Sox are
but
in the
yeah,
wild
right.
card.
They just won what 15 in a row, so it may not happen.
I think they're literally the second AL wild card team.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we'll I don't think we'll trade for or like someone mentioned Arias earlier this year.
Yeah, he just like he obviously can hit, but that's still not a needle mover. And defensively, I just don't know what we do with him.
Fix Luis Castillo. Just kidding.
Yeah, there's some
I
fixing
just
to
thought the
do.
Mariners might pay off some of his contract, but yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't have many predictions, or I don't have any predictions or obvious fits other than like Skubal, just because there's been so much smoke. That's really other than that, it's gonna be random. I don't think I'll be able to guess who they get, to be honest.
Come on, take
Brewers don't
one,
operate
one
like
from
that.
the hip. Who are we getting?
Um, there's gotta be like like to your point, Glaber. That's like a good. That's like what I feel like we'll end up targeting. Something like a back, like an Eduardo Escobar, an infielder that can start half the games, and it's gonna be someone expiring too. I don't know who is it, like IKF, something like that. Something probably underwhelming,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like there's like a 35% chance we get school. That's what I think. I think it's like 50% Dodgers and 15% the field. That's how I feel right now. So maybe. You got any other final thoughts, trade deadline or otherwise?
I saw that Euchre movie's out. I haven't seen it, or I didn't go see it,
Hmm.
but it had good reviews. So that's a nice pick me up after we're sad at this trade deadline. Um, the Otani 30 for 30. I keep seeing the hype about that. Pretty interested to see if they actually
Yeah.
uncover some stuff or if it's just for clicks.
Hmm.
And then last thing, I know I kind of breezed over it just because I didn't want to go on a soapbox last week, but um, you haven't like commented at all on Woody or anything like that. Like, what do you think about Woody? Are you really
Um,
mad that we paid him and he stole
no.
money from us? And no, I'm just kidding.
I feel like we did talk about this last time we were all together, but either way, like no. Obviously not. I mean, I don't know, what were you gonna do? Like you
I think,
weren't
sorry, I think we talked about it, but I don't think he announced officially yet.
okay.
I think that's what it was, but maybe
Sure.
not.
Well, you weren't gonna let him. Yeah, if okay, so let's say you don't attach a qualifying offer to him, and he goes somewhere and he doesn't get hurt. He looked good this year, like,
Yeah.
or maybe not like looked good stuff, but he was pitching well. So like, let's say he doesn't get hurt, you're gonna be like, damn, why didn't we even get a pick for that? I don't know, or maybe people don't care, but I think it was the right move. I think it was very borderline of whether you offer him the qualifying offer or not.
I
And I
think you
thought,
had to offer it to him. It
yeah.
just sucks what happened.
And it was a toss up whether he took it or not, honestly, because I feel like he probably could have got similar to that elsewhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks. I bet he wishes that he would have taken a 3 year, $50 million deal somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's happy with his decision. But um, feels like his time as a player in Milwaukee is over. But obviously wish him the best, and I hope his career's not over if he doesn't want it to be.
At least
So
he gets his full paternity leave.
yeah, that's right. Me and him, babies, same day. The
Hopefully there wasn't
similarity,
a mix up.
the similarities on there. Nice. Yeah, that's all I got.
I think the Chinooks are in their last week, going in next week, last push for best record in Northwoods League, did I see?
Really? I know they
God, if
do.
only I knew someone who knew something about the Nooks.
I know they do two halves normally.
Oh,
So I don't know if that's the second half standings or what, but um, yeah, go Chinooks. Yes,
I thought you were a Kingfish guy.
I am. They're my favorite team, but I like the Chinooks. The Chinooks are the games I went to as a kid, though.
Okay.
So that's like
When did the Chinooks start?
well, okay. When I say kid, I mean like
Yeah.
middle school, high school,
Yeah,
or
I think they
whatever.
started like
I
end of our
saw,
middle school
I
time, probably.
unknowingly saw Harrison Bader. Didn't know who
It's
it was,
cool.
but I pulled out the poster a few years later and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Nice. Uh, that's it. You got beer of the week?
Let me buy a beer. Sure. These fans, I love them. When I came in, they didn't recognize me at first, but then when I told them who I was, next thing you know, they're buying me my favorite beer. Thanks. Hey, it's a pleasure to buy a beer for a great pitcher like Whitey Ford. So I lied.
Did I do this one? Orange Shandy? Did I say this already?
I don't know.
I've been drinking Orange Shandy and Yingling, two things that are new or returned to this
Are you
area.
supposed to be drinking while you're
Leinenkugel.
feeding?
Yeah. Leinenkugels Orange Shandy. How about an Ope Honeybee
I believe
something
Ope
something?
has a Saison as well. I'm a big fan of those. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
be getting that when I
What
get
is
there.
that? What is that?
It's a farmhouse ale.
Hmm.
It's like French Belgian. It's
Hmm.
delightful. It's got a little
Hmm.
spice to it. Maybe I'll have to. We should go to Beard Ope sometime. You can try mine. I'll
Sure.
try yours.
Sure, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. How about it?
All right, well, we'll talk about that Skubal the Brewers deal next week. So,
Yeah, we'll talk about something next week.
all right, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.